America is an aging country. There's no way around it. Over 15% of our total population is over 65, and it's growing. But they generally receive less protection than our children. Elder abuse. Simple words with a complex definition. Or maybe no definition at all. According to the Center for Disease Control, 1 in 10 older adults experience abuse, exploitation, or neglect. According to another study in 2010, 10.2% of elder adults experience or have experienced emotional, physical, sexual abuse, or neglect by a caregiver or stranger. But what is elder abuse? The CDC defines elder abuse as any deliberate, calculated, or inattentive action by a caregiver that causes injury to a defenseless elder individual. But what if it doesn't cause injury? Or it's not by a caregiver? Okay, well, the World Health Organization defines it as a single or repeated act or lack of appropriate action occurring within any relationship where there's an expectation of trust, which causes harm or distress to an older person. While this is definitely more inclusive, there's still no clear definition of elder abuse. Different legislations use different parameters. In fact, almost every single state uses a different definition of abuse, neglect, or mistreatment for elders. How do you help or change something you can't even identify? What if the report is wrong? What if it causes your client to face more abuse? Where do you even start? Reporting elder abuse is intertwined with hundreds of ethical dilemmas and challenges, just like those. There's no clear answer for any case, never a simple yes or no. Why is it such a complex issue? Let's start with the main barriers to reporting. One of the biggest challenges is lack of knowledge. Rarely do you see abuse firsthand, and elder abuse is often harder to identify than other types of abuse. Symptoms can often be mistaken for normal aging, accidents, or even due to cognitive decline. Elder abuse is taught less in trainings and degrees, so reliance on field experience and supervisors is very necessary and makes reporting hard. There are also more factors like long-term homes, close familial relationships with their abusers, complex health issues, and the resistance to care that make identification really hard. Which leads us to our next issue, autonomy. Adults can give consent, unlike minors. They are in control of their own lives. In most states, mandatory reporting only applies to those who are mentally or physically disabled. If your client has cognitive clarity, they don't fall under that statute. But how can you identify their cognitive ability? Many elder adults are not sound of mind, but may appear different. If you suspect that their mental capacity is being taken advantage of for affecting their care, a medical evaluation is integral. Each client is different, and approaching their autonomy with respect and dignity is the first step. Which leads us to client harm. One of the last things that any social worker wants to cause. Reporting abuse could lead to an elder losing their caregiver, or making their home a more violent place than before. Using risk versus benefit analysis is very important for determining whether removal or even reporting in the first place is truly what's best for a client. In fact, many social workers hold the belief that continued care would be more effective and beneficial to the individual than intervention of adult protective services. While it is important to maintain the legal standards for mandatory reporting, the client's safety should always be the first priority. There is never one answer. Elder abuse is still vastly underreported, but being close and attentive to your older client is one of the most important preventative measures. It is the time to use your skills and understanding of the situation to make the best choice for them and the remainder of their life. Applying nuance and field experience is the only way to make the right decision for your client.